Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. Today we are looking at another of our Christmas carols and looking at the truth that lies behind the lyrics that so many people sing at this time of the year. And I want to talk today about what is one of my favorite Christmas carols. I think it's a beautiful melody. It's one actually my wife and I have sung this together as a duet in our Christmas carol services over the years. It came upon the midnight clear. Now actually only the first verse of this beautiful carol is about Christmas. It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old. From angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all-gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. So we're here on very familiar ground. This is familiar territory for Christmas carols, the proclamation of the angels to the shepherds, except here I think it's put in particularly beautiful poetic terms. And we know what's going to happen next. We've had the announcement to the shepherds, and now we're going to move on to the stable and the manger and the oxen and the donkeys and everything else. Except we don't. The second verse says, "Still through the cloven skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music floats over all the weary world. Above its sad and lowly plains, they bend on hovering wing, and even o'er its Babel sounds, the blessed angels sing." So the songwriter's actually saying the angels are still singing out their song, but the peace hasn't come, the goodwill to men hasn't come, that there's weariness, there's sadness. The Babel sounds, of course, referring to the Tower of Babel and the competing clamour of voices. So instead of going to the stable, the carol has taken an unexpected turn. And perhaps to understand this better, we need to know who wrote this song. He was a pastor, the writer was a pastor, who'd suffered a nervous breakdown and stepped back from the ministry. And he was greatly troubled by revolution taking place in parts of Europe, and also the Mexican-American War of the 19th century, which was actually quite an unpopular war, and it actually raised issues in American society about the position of slavery and whether slavery, they'd sort of reached this accommodation that there was no slavery in the North, there was slavery in the South, but now the Western territories in Texas were opening up, and would there be slavery there? And this was actually the issue that brought the slavery issue to its head and ended up with the abolitionists and the American Civil War. So is the writer being pessimistic? Well, no, I don't think he is, because he's actually laying out hope for the future, because the third verse says, "And ye beneath life's crushing load, whose forms are bending low, who toil along the climbing way with painful steps and slow, look now, for glad and golden hours come swiftly on the wing. O rest beside the weary road and hear the angels sing." So the songwriter's actually saying, you know what? Yeah, there's suffering. Yeah, there's pain. Yes, there's grief. Yes, there's war. But the angel's song is going to bring a change. It's not just twittering on, making no difference to the world, but God is bringing us on towards something. And that's where the last verse kicks in. And like a number of our Christmas carols, it now uses the first coming of Christ as a springboard for talking about the second coming of Christ. The final verse says, "For lo, the days are hastening on, by prophet seen of old, when with the ever-circling years shall come the time foretold, when peace shall over all the earth its ancient splendors fling, and the whole world send back the song which now the angels sing." So This is actually talking about a theological term which is called prophetic foreshortening. It's where prophecies in the Old Testament often looked at the coming of Christ and it appeared to be like one event. But it's like where you've got a mountain and then you've got a valley behind it and then another mountain behind the valley. And looking at it from a distance, it looks like just one mountain. It's only when you get to the top of the first mountain, you see there's a valley and a second mountain still to come. And so many of these prophecies that appear to have been disappointed by the strife and the pain and the misery that has still existed in the world following the first coming of Christ, that will all be put right at his second coming. And that's a beautiful thing to sing about at Christmas. Join us again tomorrow. We'll look at another of our Christmas carols in Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.